After discovering my girlfriend was flirting with Chad, I got into a car accident on the way to confront her, hitting my head and temporarily losing my memory. My childhood sweetheart rushed to the hospital, but pointed to my roommate next to her and said she was my girlfriend, trying to get rid of me. Clueless, I took the hand of the cold beauty, my eyes shining as I looked at her. "So, you're my girlfriend." Later, my memory returned, and I got together with the cold beauty, determined to break off all ties with my childhood sweetheart, but she broke down. When the car ran the red light and flipped me over, I and my moped flew out. I felt a buzzing in my brain, and when I reached out, my hand was covered in blood. Dimly, I heard people shouting and gathering around, and then I passed out. In the instant before losing consciousness, I couldn't stop thinking about the video I had received not long ago. The video was taken in a dimly lit karaoke bar, with a group of college students partying in a private room, including my current girlfriend, Ashley. The girlfriend who was always gentle and patient with me, and also my childhood sweetheart of 10 years, was dead drunk in the video. She was leaning on a handsome guy. The guy had his arm around her waist, looking at her with doting eyes, and in the dim light, he was very close to Ashley. Ashley didn't refuse at all. I heard someone next to them ask, "Ashley, do you want me to call your boyfriend to pick you up?" Ashley waved her hand while holding a drink, slurring, "No, absolutely not. I'd be annoyed to death if he came." I finally managed to sneak out without him knowing. I can finally have some peace and quiet. I've never met anyone so annoying in my life. The video was anonymously sent to my email, and after I opened it, I watched it many times, unable to believe that this was how Ashley saw me. Ashley and I were childhood sweethearts, and we officially got together in high school, a couple recognized by everyone. Because both families were from similar backgrounds, with 1 year left until graduation, my parents had already started discussing buying a house for us in Riverton and getting married after graduation. In the video, after Ashley said those words, Chad seemingly unintentionally stoked the fire. "Really? You've been with your boyfriend for so many years, shouldn't your relationship be great?" Then, I saw Ashley raise her eyes and smile self-deprecatingly. Do I have the right to say anything bad about him? Not to mention his parents, even my own parents wouldn't let me break up with him. Everyone envies this relationship, but to me, it's like a shackle. Sometimes I really envy you guys who can date freely in college, but I'm tied down by him. Seeing this, I silently closed my phone. I thought our feelings were deep, but in her eyes, I was just a shackle she couldn't get rid of. At the end of the video, a cold female voice came, with a hint of impatience in her tone, "Stop talking." But I didn't have time to pay attention to these details anymore and decided to take the video to Ashley and ask her about it face to face. I, Ryan, am not the kind of person who pesters people. If Ashley said I was a shackle, then I would set her free. As a result, as soon as I rode my moped to the intersection, I was hit by the car that ran the red light. In a dizzy haze, I slowly opened my eyes, accompanied by a severe headache. I heard the doctor next to me talking to someone. He's lucky to be alive. To be thrown so far by a car and only suffer minor injuries is thanks to his helmet. A slightly cold voice came from the side, but there was a hint of trembling in that voice. Then why is he still bleeding? He still has some injuries on his head, it's unavoidable, but it's not serious. The hospital has treated the wounds, but we still need to see how the patient is after he wakes up. Then, another woman's voice came, full of impatience. When will he wake up? I have urgent matters to attend to and don't have time to wait here for too long. It was at this moment that I opened my eyes. The woman saw me open my eyes and quickly called out, "Doctor, he's awake." I stared at the woman in front of me, my brain unable to react for a moment due to the pain. "Who are you?" I watched the expression on the woman's face change from excitement to surprise, followed by a strange expression. "I'm Ashley." She restrained the concern that had flashed across her face, gave a wry smile, took a half step back, and pushed another woman next to her in front of my hospital bed. I turned to look at the woman with a somewhat cold expression. She looked at me with her slightly cold peach blossom eyes, her eyes filled with worry. This is Emily, your girlfriend. I'm her roommate and your neighbor. I heard about your accident and came to see you with her. The air in the hospital room froze for a moment. I saw Emily turn her head and look at the person next to her, her eyes seemingly filled with anger. Ashley nudged her arm and winked at her. Emily clenched the hand hanging by her side, then released it, ignored her, and squatted down in front of my hospital bed, softly asking, "How are you feeling? Does your head still hurt?" I nodded, and the movement pulled at the wound, causing me to wince in pain. "Don't move." Her voice was a little urgent. "Be careful of the wound." I blinked, opened my mouth, and my voice was a little hoarse. "You're my girlfriend?" I saw a hint of hesitation flash in Emily's eyes as she opened her mouth to answer. However, before she could speak, Ashley quickly interrupted. "That's right, she's your girlfriend. Emily, you stay here and keep your boyfriend company. Chad seems to have something urgent for me, so I'll go first." After saying that, she hurriedly left, closing the hospital room door as if there were monsters inside. Ashley left, and Emily turned to look at me, hesitated for a moment, and nodded. "Yes, I'm your girlfriend." I didn't dare to make too big of an expression, afraid of pulling at the wound on my head, and only gave a slight smile, then reached out and gently placed my hand on Emily's. "Girlfriend, I want some water." Emily's appearance was on the cold side. When she didn't make any expressions, her overly cold face even seemed unapproachable. Not only was she cold-looking, but her personality was also a bit icy and she didn't like to talk. But she was surprisingly good at taking care of people, helping me up, feeding me water, peeling apples for me, and even cutting them into small pieces for me to eat easily, so meticulous that the nurse who came to check on me couldn't help but tease. "This girlfriend of yours looks taciturn, but she's actually quite good at taking care of people." After hearing the compliments, Emily still didn't have much of an expression on her face, but she would carefully watch me eat the fruit bowl she had just cut. As for my memory loss, the doctor only said that it was due to the impact, and a blood clot had formed in my brain. But overall, it wasn't serious, and it would definitely recover in a month at most. All I knew was that Emily and I were in the same college and the same department. But I always felt that something was strange about the fact that she was my girlfriend. For example, when I watched a movie with her on the hospital room TV, I would habitually hold her hand, or want to cuddle with her intimately. But the first time I put my arm around her, I felt Emily's whole body stiffen in an instant, as if she was very uncomfortable. When I looked up, I noticed that her ear tips were red, as if they had been scalded by hot water. "Emily, how long have we been together?" Emily was stunned for a moment before answering softly, 3 years. I was a little confused. If we had been together for 3 years, why would she be shy every time I held her hand? A week after waking up, the person who claimed to be my neighbor and Emily's roommate appeared in my hospital room again. At that time, I had already been notified by the doctor that I could be discharged, and Emily was working hard to pack my luggage in the hospital room. These luggage were all brought to me by her on the first day of my hospitalization. When Ashley came in, I was lying on the bed, watching her pack things. "Emily, have we ever lived together? Are you still living in the dorm? Do you think we should move out and rent an apartment near the university together? Didn't you say the other day that you felt it was inconvenient to live in the dorm?" A blush flashed across Emily's always calm face, and she turned her head away, packing things while saying, "Let's talk about it later." Seeing her like this, I had the idea of teasing her. Thinking of Emily's usual blushing appearance, I held her face and leaned in gently, kissing her cheek. "Let's decide in the next couple of days, okay?" "What are you doing?" Just then, Ashley suddenly pushed the door open and came in with a dark face. I saw a face full of on her face, looked at Emily with confusion, but saw that her expression was also not good, and she was looking at the woman who came in coldly. "Emily!" Ashley gritted her teeth. I felt that the atmosphere in the hospital room was not good, and took the initiative to stand in front of Emily. "Is there something you need from my girlfriend?" The moment the words came out, I saw a moment of on Ashley's face. Emily grabbed my hand and said in a low voice, "I'll go out and talk to her, you wait here for a while." Then, she half-forced Ashley out of the room and closed the hospital room door. Separated by a door, I could only vaguely hear the sound coming from outside the door, intermittent, and I couldn't hear everything. "Emily, you're crazy. Have you forgotten Ryan? Didn't you say it yourself, that you were willing? Okay, fine, you're amazing, I'll just give Ryan to you. I just don't know, what will he think of you when he recovers?" While I was frowning and thinking about the meaning of this conversation, I suddenly heard a loud slap from outside the door. The two of them actually started fighting. When I rushed out of the hospital room door, the two of them had already been pulled away by the people next to them. I rushed to Emily's side first, and after confirming that she was okay, I breathed a sigh of relief. Then, I looked at Ashley, who was half lying on the ground, with anger. Compared to Emily, she had an exaggerated bruise on her forehead, and the corner of her mouth was broken and bleeding, making her look quite embarrassed. "Ashley, I don't know how my girlfriend offended you, but today you took the initiative to cause trouble, and if you do it again next time, don't blame me for being rude. You said before that we were neighbors, so our parents should know each other, and you don't want the relationship between the two families to be awkward, right?" After speaking, Ashley raised her eyes to look at me, her eyes filled with disbelief. "Ryan, did you hit your head so hard that you broke your brain?" "Open your eyes wide, Emily hit me, but you're protecting her instead?" I frowned, and for some reason, I tasted a hint of from Ashley's words, and immediately felt a chill. Enduring the disgust, I looked at Ashley with an unkind expression. "So what, no matter what, Emily is my girlfriend." Ashley choked. For some reason, I saw some, unable to express her suffering, on her face. Because of anger, Ashley's face turned red, and after a long time, she dropped a sentence with hatred. "Okay, Ryan, you wait, you'll regret it in the future." At this time, I had already noticed that something was subtly wrong, but my physiological instinct told me that all I felt for the person in front of me was disgust. Ashley got up and left angrily, looking like she didn't intend to pursue the matter. I breathed a sigh of relief, and then squatted down and looked at Emily. I held her face in both hands, checked carefully, and made sure that Emily was really okay before I breathed a sigh of relief. "You two, why did you have to fight her?" Emily grabbed my wrist, squeezed it tightly for a moment and then quickly let go. "She said things she shouldn't have said. But you can't hit her in public." I couldn't help but say. Emily raised her eyes to look at me, and for some reason, a hint of dimness flashed in her eyes. "I won't do it again in the future." I quickly added, "It's not that I'm telling you to endure her, let's just find a place with no people next time and beat her up in a sack, so we don't get caught." While explaining in a panic, I heard Emily chuckle. I widened my eyes and was stunned for a moment. Emily's eyes darkened for a moment, and she wrapped her arms around my neck, leaned in, and gently kissed the corner of my lips. "Okay, I'll listen to you from now on." For the next few hours, I spent the whole time in a daze, following Emily behind her and watching her go through the discharge procedures. I'll never laugh at Emily for being shy again. It turns out I'm not much better than her. After returning to the dorm, my roommates were very concerned about me, and I told them that I was fine, but my memory was temporarily lost. They were surprised, but they quickly adapted. Because my leave of absence was about to expire, I had to go to my major class early the next morning. As soon as I entered the classroom, I saw a familiar figure by the window and greeted her cheerfully. "Emily!" I told my roommate and went to Emily's side. After a while, Ashley also came in. For some reason, her eyes were always on Emily and me. During class, because of my memory loss, I always had to get close to Emily and ask her about the content of the class. Every time I got close to her, the expression on Ashley's face became more and more gloomy. I was too lazy to look at her again. I didn't know why, But I felt uncomfortable in my heart the first time I saw this person after waking up. After class, Ashley took the initiative to come to me and blocked me in the hallway. There was a guy next to her, and he seemed to be very close to her. After seeing me, the guy took the initiative to smile and greet me. "Ryan, long time no see." I frowned, and for some reason, I subconsciously didn't like this person. But I still answered politely, "Hello." The guy looked at me and smiled. "Ashley said you had a car accident, are you okay?" Seeing that this person was just concerned about me, I put away the discomfort in my heart and answered with a smile, "I'm fine, it's just that my memory is a little damaged, but the doctor said I'll recover soon." Ashley smiled softly, leaned next to the guy, making a close and familiar gesture, but her eyes were fixed on me. "Chad, why are you telling him so much? By the way, Ryan, your dad and mom told me that we should go home together this weekend." She stood in front of me, raising her eyelids, with an arrogant attitude. "But sorry, I'm going to visit an art gallery with Chad this weekend, so I can't go back with you." The guy who was called Chad by Ashley smiled slightly, saying sorry, but his eyes were full of triumphant light. "Sorry, little brother, I'm taking up Ashley's time with you, you don't mind, right?" I frowned, subconsciously took half a step back, and kept a distance from the two of them. Why would I mind? "Ashley, you don't have to go back with me in the future, I have hands and feet, I can go back by myself, and I won't take up any of your time in the future. Besides, I'll definitely look for Emily if I have something to do." "Ryan!" Ashley bit her lip, a trace of flashing in her eyes. "Are you really thinking that she likes you now that you're messing around with Emily? I've been her roommate for 3 years, and I've never seen her like anyone. She hasn't been in a relationship for 3 years in college, so there must be something wrong with her. Maybe she's just playing you as a simp." After hearing these words, I felt a wave of nausea in my stomach and looked at Ashley with disgust. "Are you sick?" Ashley sneered. "What, did I hit the nail on the head? I think you'd better." Suddenly, a figure stood in front of me, blocking Ashley's gaze. Emily's face was cold, and her voice contained a warning, "Get lost." Ashley sneered. "Emily, don't tell me you really like Ryan? I can't tell. It's a pity that you know best who he really likes." Her eyes circled between us, and she smiled coldly. "Ryan, I'm waiting for you to come and beg me later. I advise you to come and find me sooner, so you don't regret it in the future." Ashley left without looking back, and the more I thought about it, the more angry I became, and I cursed at her back. "Go get treatment if you have a problem, don't harm people everywhere, you psycho." I was furious in my heart and turned to Emily to complain, "Is this person really sick?" But the moment I met Emily's eyes, I noticed that she subconsciously avoided my gaze. "What's wrong, Emily?" I noticed something was wrong and asked softly. Emily pursed her lips, and the next moment, she threw herself into my arms. I hugged her back, patted her spine comfortingly, and comforted, "What's wrong? Will you leave? After you recover your memory." Emily's voice trembled slightly. "Why would I leave for no reason?" I smiled, "Don't worry." Emily's body relaxed. After that day, I noticed Emily's strange state and felt that she lacked security. So I brought up the matter of moving out and living together again. Emily didn't agree at first, but she couldn't resist my firm attitude, so she gave in. So I started happily dragging Emily to find suitable housing. "Emily, the apartment we just saw has good lighting, but the floor is a bit high. The one we saw yesterday was on the first floor, which is more convenient, but the rent is a bit too expensive." I was a little embarrassed. After all, Emily and I were both students, and there were many things to consider. "Actually," Emily pursed her lips and looked at me, "I have an apartment near the university." I widened my eyes. "What?" "My parents bought me an apartment near the university the year I was admitted to college." I stood in the wind in confusion for a moment, and after a long time, I said with grief and indignation, "I'm going to fight you rich people." Emily smiled softly. It's okay, what's mine is yours. That apartment has always been cleaned, we can move in today. She paused and added, if you don't mind. I shook my head, why would I mind? Then I'll go with you to the dorm to pack your luggage. Emily said softly. Okay. I was taking Emily towards the dorm when the phone in the bag suddenly rang, so I had to take out the phone first. Hello? What's wrong, Mom? A woman's anxious and worried voice came from the phone. You kid, why didn't you tell your family about such a big car accident? I heard the doctor said you had memory problems, it scared your dad and me to death. My heart skipped a beat, how could my dad and mom know about this for no reason? Soon, I had the answer in my heart, besides that Ashley, who else could be so idle? Dad, Mom, don't worry. I bit my teeth hard and slowed down my voice, I'm really fine, the doctor said the memory loss is temporary, you guys. Don't say anymore, your dad and I are already downstairs in your dorm building, no matter where you are now, hurry back and let us see you. Hearing my mom's answer, I was stunned for a moment, holding my phone and looking up towards the direction of the dorm building. I saw Dad and Mom carrying a bunch of things, and Ashley was standing next to them with a smiling face. Before I could react, Ashley took the lead and shouted. Uncle and Aunt, Ryan is here. Emily and I, who had a grave expression, looked at each other, sighed, and walked to my dad and mom together. The moment we met, my mom noticed Emily standing next to me. There was no way, with her tall stature and outstanding appearance, it was difficult not to notice such a person standing next to their son. Son, let Mom take a look. My mom grabbed my arm and checked me up and down, left and right, and breathed a sigh of relief after finding that I was fine. After confirming that I was safe, she couldn't help but complain. I asked you to go back with Ashley, but you didn't react at all. Did Ashley have to persuade you repeatedly to get you to come out? The final exams are coming up soon, right? Go back with Ashley as soon as you finish the exams. Uncle Bob and the others want to take you to see the house. For a moment, I was stunned. House. Yeah, didn't you keep clamoring to marry Ashley since you were a kid? You've been dating for 3 years, and your relationship has been stable, isn't it almost graduation? Your dad and I discussed buying a house for you first, so we don't have to worry about the housing prices rising in a few years. Wait! I was in shock. What do you mean I've been clamoring to marry Ashley since I was a kid? I was about to retort when a hand took my arm. I turned my head and met Ashley's deep smiling eyes. I know, Uncle and Aunt, don't worry, we'll go back then. Ryan, you don't have to worry, after all. Her eyes flickered, I'm his girlfriend, it's my duty to take care of him. I stood there, my pupils trembling. For a moment, my parents' words, my roommate's reactions, Ashley's inexplicable attitude all along, and Emily's strange reaction before. Everything connected, the answer was clear. My brain throbbed, and the lost memories slowly surfaced in my mind. I remembered. Ashley, the woman I felt disgusted with from the bottom of my heart, was indeed my girlfriend of 3 years. This childhood sweetheart I had known for 10 years was also the person I loved most in the past. And Emily was just a classmate I could call an acquaintance. If she hadn't been Ashley's roommate, she might never have come into my sight. I stood there, my hands and feet were ice cold, and without looking in the mirror, I knew that my face must be pale. But when I looked at Emily, I found that she was the one who was truly pale, and the light eyes were now filled with a mood worse than despair. Ryan, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Ashley turned sideways, deliberately blocking Emily's sight. Are you hungry? Have you eaten yet? Uncle and Aunt, are you also hungry? Why don't we find a restaurant nearby? My mom looked at Ashley with satisfaction. That's right, what Ashley said is right, Ryan, put everything else aside and let's go eat first. Ashley curled her lips and glanced at Emily, her eyes not smiling. Thank you for sending him here, Emily, we won't trouble you to take care of Ryan. Look, we're having a family dinner now, so it's not good to leave you, an outsider, right? I'll treat you to bubble tea another day. I stood there blankly, watching Emily glance at Ashley lightly, and then turned and left. And Ashley, with a triumphant smile, took advantage of the fact that my parents were present and deliberately showed her attentiveness in front of me. Uncle and Aunt, is it okay if we go to this restaurant? Ryan loves to eat the dishes here. My mom dragged me, and even though I didn't want to sit with Ashley for dinner, I had no choice but to go. The meal was tasteless. After the meal, my dad and mom told me a few words and then took the express train home. They each had work and couldn't stay for long, and told Ashley to take good care of me. Ashley agreed the second before, and after sending my dad and mom away, she showed me a smile that was not a smile. I told you, you'd come back to me sooner or later. I sneered, really? If my parents weren't here, do you think I'd have dinner with you? Ashley looked at the hatred in my eyes and bit her teeth. Ryan, what's wrong with you? Are you really stupid? I told you, I'm your girlfriend, Emily is just a fake. I showed sarcasm in my eyes. Really? Wasn't it you who pointed at Emily and said she was my girlfriend that day in the hospital? Ashley grabbed her hair irritably and Ed impatiently. I had something to do that day, I didn't have time to be with you, so I just said it casually. Who knew you'd remember it so clearly? And you've been messing around with that Emily for so long. She looked jealous. You stay away from her in the future. If it wasn't for this time, I wouldn't have been able to tell that she has such deep feelings for you. Watching Ashley say a bunch of things to herself, I couldn't help but sneer. Just said it casually? I don't think so, right? I looked at Ashley coldly, took out my phone, and played the video I had downloaded from my email while eating. As the progress bar moved, Ashley's figure stiffened inch by inch, until the video was finished. She raised her head and squeezed out a smile with difficulty. Baby, who sent you this video? Don't believe it, I was drunk and said it randomly. I took back my phone and looked at her calmly. Ashley, do you know? I received this video that day, so I rushed to find you to ask you clearly, and as a result, I had a car accident on the road. We've known each other for 10 years. I've liked you since I was little, always clinging to you. Later, after you confessed your feelings, I naturally wanted to go to the same university as you and be together forever. I chuckled self-deprecatingly. I was wrong. I was wrong to be so foolish, to trust you so much, to trust what we called love. I never imagined you would see my affection as a shackle. No, Ashley's impatience and annoyance vanished instantly, and she hurriedly explained, Ryan, you've regained your memory, haven't you? You remember our past? I really do love you, don't you remember? The day I confessed when I was 17, I swore I would love you forever. A trace of sadness flashed in my eyes. Of course, I remembered how much 17-year-old Ashley had liked me. When I accepted her confession, the joy in her eyes almost overflowed, and she happily threw herself into my arms. It's just that young love was real, and those words in the karaoke bar were also her current sincere feelings. I slowly shook my head. It doesn't matter, Ashley. Do you think I can still believe you now? The day I went to find you, I had already decided that I would set you free. Ashley, your shackle is gone, forever. Let's break up peacefully. I turned around, no longer wanting to talk to her. At this moment, I was thinking about someone else. Ashley completely panicked and hurriedly grabbed my arm. Don't go! Ryan, you can't treat me like this because of a few words. Her eyes were full of pleading. We're about to see our house, and we'll be engaged soon. Your dad and mom will only accept me as their son-in-law, and my mom and dad have treated you like their own daughter for a long time. What we have is unbreakable. I was wrong. You're not my shackle. I messed up. I pulled my hand back, looking at her calmly, with not a ripple in my eyes. I'll explain to my mom and dad. Ashley, let's just call it quits. I turned around again, this time walking away resolutely, no longer hearing any of Ashley's calls. The number you dialed is not answering. Please try again later, sorry. I don't know how many times it was, but Emily's phone still wasn't being answered. I sat on the bed, staring blankly at the phone with its dark screen. The memories of spending almost half a month with Emily swirled in my mind, and my heart was very complicated. To say that I really fell in love with Emily because of these few days of misunderstanding would be too absurd. But the memories of this time were too profound. That impulsive hug in the hospital hallway, and the heat of the woman's kiss. And the calm but undeniable look of love in Emily's eyes every moment she looked at me. All of this made it impossible for me to pretend that nothing had happened. I couldn't help but start trying to recall if I had ever crossed paths with her before. Unfortunately, my memory wasn't very good. After a day, I couldn't even remember what I ate yesterday. It was really unrealistic to ask me to remember everything about Emily in the past. But the look in Emily's eyes when we parted that day was so sad, so desperate, that it cast a shadow over my heart. Emily, where are you? I turned over and murmured. Why isn't she answering the phone? Just as I was tossing and turning in bed, my roommate knocked on the railing of my bed. Ryan. He looked up at me, his expression embarrassed. Do you want to see this? My roommate held up his phone, and the latest hot post on the university forum was glaring on the screen. Oh my God, is that Emily, the Emily from the computer science department? Is she drunk? In the photo, Emily was sitting alone by the campus lake, with many empty bottles scattered around her. In the slightly blurred photo, her long hair was disheveled, and she was sitting by the lake, staring blankly at the moon above her head. Wow, I have to say Emily is so beautiful even when she's drunk, a real drunken beauty. No, why are you guys still watching? Are you crazy? Is there anyone nearby who can pull her away? She might fall in if she gets too drunk. The advisor is making a sharp noise, proving that the advisor is not pure. It's okay, the poster just went up and asked. The Emily is still conscious and will be careful. I flipped through the posts, and a new comment caught my eye. Humph, it seems I'm the only one who knows why Emily is so down. Upstairs, elaborate, I'm waiting for some gossip. Of course, it's a certain male student in the computer science department whose last name starts with R, who is two-timing. It's not enough to have a childhood sweetheart, he also has to mess with our campus belle, TSK TSK TSK. Yes, a Chad from the same department told us about it. Seeing the comments starting to turn into conspiracy theories, I returned the phone to my roommate. Ryan, don't worry too much. We're definitely on your side. Several roommates looked at me and comforted me, there must be a reason why you broke up with Ashley. I pursed my lips, and a warm feeling welled up in my heart. Thank you guys. I'm going out to find Emily now. Please help me deal with the dorm room check. I jumped out of bed and hurried towards the place in the photo. When I arrived at the campus lake, Emily was still sitting by the lake, but she wasn't drinking anymore. Emily! I called out, and Emily looked over at the sound of my voice. Ryan. She looked at me, her eyes full of intoxication, her gaze a little distracted. Is that you? Why did you drink so much? I sat down next to her and put a few of the empty bottles aside. Don't drink anymore. Emily nodded, then shook her head, her eyes fixed on me, looking a little dull, and her voice was also a lot slower than usual. It hurts if I don't drink. I couldn't help but ask, why does it hurt? Emily lowered her eyes, took my hand, and placed it on her chest. It hurts here. You don't want me anymore. It felt like a row of small thorns had been stuck in my heart, and I felt a little uncomfortable. Who said I don't want you? Because she was drunk, Emily talked a lot more than usual. Because you like Ashley. I've liked you since freshman year, but you've always liked Ashley and never looked at me. This opportunity was stolen by me. You'll hate me when you regain your memory. As she spoke, Emily's voice became lower and lower. At the same time, I also recalled some clues from my dusty memories. In freshman year, that girl with the cold face and beautiful voice asked me on the first day of class if I wanted to team up with her. I replied that I wanted to be with my girlfriend. Later, there were Emily's figures everywhere at class reunions, dinners with Ashley's friends, and various major classes. And because of Ashley, I never noticed her eyes that had been following me. If it hadn't been for that video that broke the seemingly peaceful relationship between me and Ashley, and because of a misunderstanding, Emily would have become my temporary girlfriend. Maybe she would have buried this feeling in her heart forever. My eyes were also a little sore. Emily, I broke up with Ashley. I know what she said in the karaoke bar. I'm not sure if I'll be willing to start a new relationship in a short period of time, but I've regained my memory, and I don't hate you. Can you give me some time? After I finished speaking, I noticed that Emily was staring at me motionlessly, her eyes filled with moonlight and hope. 1 year later, Emily. Here. Hurry up. I stood on the stairs and waved to Emily not far away. Hang in there, you're almost here. 3 months after graduation, I found a job in Riverton and officially decided to live with Emily. Not long after that incident, my relationship with Emily had been in that delicate state. It belonged to the kind where everyone thought we were dating, but only the people involved knew that we were still in an awkward easing period. Although my relationship with Emily was no different from dating. On the university forum, those posts that were going in the wrong direction were deleted after I contacted them, and I also told my friends about breaking up with Ashley. Plus, there were many people around when she said those things in the karaoke bar, and soon the real reason for our breakup was guessed by everyone. Ashley came to me several times, but I ignored her. Later, I heard that she had broken up with Chad from her department. But all of that had nothing to do with me. Because of my hesitation some time ago, I first moved into an apartment near the company, but before long, I couldn't resist Emily's request and moved in with her, so I had to move again. Emily didn't say anything on the surface, but the smile in her eyes betrayed her true feelings. There are a lot of things to do today. We have to go to the airport at 5 o'clock to pick up my mom and dad. I carried 2 bags of luggage and planned the itinerary with Emily. Let's go back and do a quick tidy up, then go to the airport. Oh right, I have to pack myself up. It's my first time meeting your mom and dad as your future son-in-law, I can't be nervous.